Court is now in session for the Honorable John Duggan.
Please be seated. We're back on the record this morning. This is the matter of estate of Michelle Marie Clark. This is a hearing on application for removal of the personal representative. And Mr. Offord is representing the personal representative, Joseph L. Clark, Jr. And Mr. Hale is here on behalf of Jolene Colon, and I think also son LaRose, who were the petitioners. And Mr. Hale, any comment before we take evidence today?
No, Your Honor.
Remain seated if you would. Mr. Offord, any comment before we proceed with the evidence?
Just to remind Your Honor, this is a continuation of the hearing that we had before, and I believe the status was that we had completed our examination of Mr. Clark and didn't have any other witnesses to add, so I think it would be the petitioner's.
Thank you. And I did look at our log notes from the previous hearing, and that I think I have the same recollection as sort of where we were. And Mr. Hale, let's see. Looking at Mr. Offord's cross-examination, but I think I just want. Do we complete cross-examination of Mr. Colon at that time? Do you remember, Mr. Offord?
I think I had completed my examination. I had examined him, and I think Mr. Allen had cross-examined him.
All right. Maybe Mr. Allen, I wasn't clear if Mr. Allen had called him, and then you examined him, but I'm thinking that's what it was. I'll just ask Mr. Hale, any other questions that you have for Mr. Colon before we go on to other evidence, or Mr. Clark, rather, before we go on to other evidence, Mr. Hale?
No, I don't have any further questions of Mr. Clark, Your Honor.
And then other evidence at this time, Mr. Hale?
We have Lieutenant Colonel Blaylock here, who is familiar with the circumstances of the death of the decedent.
All right, and he's going to testify about that?
He's going to testify to some statements she made just prior to her dying.
All right. So if you'll come forward, please, and come up to the little ramp to the witness box, and if you remain standing for a second, the clerk will swear you in.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you will give against this court with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please sit it. For the record, please state your full name.
Kenneth Troy Blaylock.
For the record, please spell your last name.
Blaylock.
And questions, Mr. Hale?
Colonel Blaylock, how are you employed?
I'm a full-time lieutenant colonel with the Alaska Army National Guard.
And did you know Michelle Clark?
We never worked in the same unit, never worked directly together. I had spoken with her at most at 30-second intervals until 2 days before she passed away.
And on this 2 days before she passed away, did you have an occasion to talk to her?
Yes, I did.
Did she approach you? You approach her?
She stopped me in a hallway and asked if she could speak to me.
And do you recall what the substance of the conversation was?
Yes, she...
We're going to impose an objection on hearsay grounds at this point.
All right, and Mr. wait for just a second. The Colonel will resolve the objection. And any response, Mr. Hale?
We're not trying to introduce this as proof of what was spoken. It was just that it was actually spoken, Your Honor. That she made a statement to the Colonel. And we're not trying to say that what she said was true. We're just saying that she made the statement herself. So
I think you can testify that he had a conversation with her, and that as a result of conversation there was some action or something that resulted from the conversation. But as far as what was said, that would not be allowed. So.
Okay. But as a result of your conversation with Miss Clark, what did you surmise?
I surmised that she was murdered.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
She said, and I quote, "They're going to
Objection, Your
kill me."
Honor, to the quotation. We've already had a ruling on this.
Right. She's not available to testify, so there's no opportunity to cross-examine her about what she said or didn't say. So for that reason, that you can testify about what you did based on a conversation or what you thought based on a conversation, but as far as what she said in that conversation, you're not allowed to testify about that. So,
Yes, sir.
So I'll ask Mr. Held to rephrase the question, please.
As a result of speaking with her, what did you think? You felt like she was murdered?
That is correct.
And what drew you to that conclusion?
Things that she had told me, discussions she had had with other people who had told her to come talk to me to get help. There were two other people that spoke with me after her death that had said that she had spoken.
Objection to the hearsay nature of the comment, Your Honor.
And again, unless Mr. Held is going to call those people to testify, then what they said or what you said to them is not allowed. So.
Yeah. It's hearsay within hearsay.
I understand. Based upon what she told me, I did contact law enforcement personnel and indicate to them.
Who did you contact?
I talked to Clint Campion. He's in the National Guard on weekends, and I saw him and discussed with him the conversation I had with her.
And to your knowledge, is there still an ongoing investigation into her death?
To my knowledge, I don't know of one.
Okay.
I have been told by law enforcement personnel that there's an investigation that she is a part of, but not specifically into her death.
Okay. Do you know the current personal representative, Mr. Clark, Joseph Clark?
I don't believe I've ever met him.
Okay. Are you familiar with the people that she was with on the night before her death?
Yes, at least one.
Who were those people?
Maria Weaver is a Master Sergeant, and I've known her for many years.
Okay. And see, and when did she die?
I believe it's the 16th, Sunday.
Sunday, and you talk. And when did you speak with her?
It was the Friday, the 14th.
Okay. Are you aware of any kind of investigation by the Army into her death?
I am not aware of anything. I personally spoke with CID, Criminal Investigation Division at Fort Richardson, myself and another soldier. They said that it was out of their jurisdiction.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Offer, any questions for Colonel Blaylock?
So when you were told, Lieutenant Colonel Blaylock, that it was outside of the jurisdiction, that meant that it was outside of the Army's jurisdiction?
Correct.
Or National Guard, I'm not sure. Or both?
National Guard has no jurisdiction for investigating any kind of criminal activity.
Right.
CID investigates things on Fort Richardson with Army folks.
Okay. So the Army is not conducting any investigation that you're aware of?
Not that I am aware of.
All right. And even if, and also to the extent that you're aware of it, it would be outside of their jurisdiction, is that right?
That is my understanding.
Have you seen the death certificate for Michelle Marie Clark?
I have not seen it personally.
Okay. Are you aware of it?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Are you a doctor?
I am not.
Did you conduct any type of autopsy on Michelle Marie
Did
Clark's
not.
body?
No, sir.
Okay. Were you present while others did?
I was not.
Okay. Did you talk to the doctors who performed the autopsy?
Did not.
Okay. And are you aware on the death certificate that the cause of death is indeterminate?
I have been told that.
Okay. And you're aware that she died on January 6, 2011? Over a year ago?
Yes, sir.
All right. When you first started to testify, I didn't hear clearly, but did I understand you to say that you had only talked to her prior to this Friday? You had only talked to her on short, brief interchanges?
Correct.
Okay. Hello, how are you? How's things
Yes,
going?
sir.
Okay.
Nothing business related.
All right. So your knowledge of her and her knowledge of you is simply from the perspective that she was in the military and you were a lieutenant colonel?
Correct.
All right. Thank you, Colonel Blaylock. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Hill, any other questions for the Colonel?
Follow up on this. Colonel Blaylock, what was your duties in the Army at the time that she spoke to you?
I was a commander for the Regional Training Institute, National Guard Schoolhouse.
Okay. And did you have any type of specialized duties as far as dealing with female soldiers?
I did not have specific duties, but I had experience.
Why would she have approached you?
She had...
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
If he knows, he can answer, Your Honor.
Would you say the question?
I said, why would she have come and told you that she thought she was going to be?
Renew my
I
objection.
think you can ask foundation questions about why he might know, but I think it is speculation to ask him why he might know that.
Okay. Had you had other experiences with other soldiers dealing with similar circumstances?
Yes, sir. I have over 10 victims of sexual assault and numerous persons involved in drugs that had come to me for help to get them substance abuse, detoxing, counseling, medical treatment, things like that.
Did Ms. Clark have a problem with drugs, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, I don't know, but I can only say what she told me, that she had personal knowledge.
I would object to the...
Yes, let's sustain that. So,
Okay.
Mr. Hill.
Okay. And you say that you stated you thought she was murdered. Why do you feel like she was murdered?
Objection, Your Honor. I believe that's total speculation.
Again, if you want to ask foundation questions, you can, the basis for his opinion, then I'll allow you to do that.
When you were speaking with her and your knowledge of her and her, what caused you to feel like she was murdered?
My personal perceptions were that she was in trouble, she needed help, she was asking for help, and 2 days later she was dead.
Okay, that's all I have.
Mr. Offer, any other questions for Colonel Blaylock?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Colonel. We'll excuse you as a witness. Appreciate your availability today. Other evidence, Mr. Hale?
That's all I have, Your Honor.